Back with more after this. Well, we told you things happen in a hurry here at Bristol, and they just did. The first caution flag of the evening has come out, and here is one of our early point contenders has some damage on his car. Here's what happened. Take a look at the right side of your screen.
And this was pretty far back in the field. That's Rick Wilson in the Food Country car number 75, gets capped by Randy LaJoy and spins him up on the racetrack. Now, Jerry, he slides down almost in the groove, and the leaders were coming around. They were not far behind that spin, and David Green apparently ran into somebody that slowed down in front of him, or somebody bumped him from behind. Anyway, he had a lot of damage to the Slim Jim Chevrolet.
Back at Bristol, Tennessee, second caution flag of the evening, lap number 53. And a wild scramble as you see this car, which was running in third position, has just come on the pit road and begun to pull away, Ned.
And he couldn't get stopped. He came into the pits and it was too wet. He simply couldn't get the car stopped, so he's going back out. Here it is. Here's Ward Burton coming up on a big pack of cars that we saw there just before we went to commercial break. And all of those cars scrambling, trying to stay on the lead lap, and they were banging and beating, and sure enough, it had to happen as Jason Keller and
Shauna Robinson
get together. There's Ward Burton, the leader, sneaking by down on the inside, but his brother Jeff was not quite so lucky. He got involved in it in the Baby Ruth Ford, and so we're under caution, leaders in the pit.
So he had to come back in, so they've just had all kinds of problems, and it's because of the water on pit road.
We have one car that slammed the wall up in turns 3 and 4. That is the car number 20, the Penelope Machines of Randy LaJoy. He tagged it pretty hard as the car number 20 comes slowly down the front straightaway. And the right front tire is pushed back in against the fender and sheet metal. Caution now being shown for the third time today.
And Jerry, that's the car that Benny Parsons talked about being so strong before the race started that they had to start way back in the pack, and you're subject to get into things when you start that far back.
A lot of drivers having troubles already this evening. One of those we mentioned was Jeff Burton, and he is standing by as you watch Randy LaJoy's car go behind the wall. Getting set for more racing here under the moonlight in Bristol after this. Back at Bristol, Tennessee, well, a lap and a half ago, we went green, and we are cautioned again for the 5th time. And you see one of the cars involved was Dale Jarrett's Pick and Pay Chevrolet. Carl Simmons going to need some Ben Gay on that right arm tonight, waving the caution flag so much. And Ned, unfortunately, here's what happened a minute ago involving Dale.
Yeah, Chuck Bowen and the car number 72 got together coming off of turn 4, and Bowen just simply couldn't get it together back in. They touched again. Jarrett came off of the turn there, had nowhere to go, and he ran into them. Shauna Robinson spins down on the inside as well.
So about 4 cars involved, bringing out the 5th caution flag. There's Steve Grissom in the Channel Lock Chevrolet, making his way back toward the front.
And Chuck Bowen coming on up through there as well. So those cars not damaged too much, but here's some damage.
Out of turn 2. Whoa, one car spins. That was Chad Little. And what a nice job Joe Nemechek did to avoid Chad Little's car, who spun back up across the racetrack. Chad Little, the car number 23. His car looped in turn 2. Take a look again at what happened here as the field heads down into turns 1 and 2.
Terry Labonte moves up and lets the car number 97 go by, and Rick Wilson tries to dive in the hole, spins Labonte around. He touches the outside wall, and let's see who else comes in here and gets involved.
Well, behind that action, just as they were trying to avoid Terry Labonte, Chad Little spun, the car number 23, and as his car spun across the racetrack right in front of Joe Nemechek, who turned to the right and just missed center punching that guy right there, Chad Little. Little bumper tag, but there's 2 rookies there, the 55 and the 25. Timmy Fedua, former ASA Rookie of the Year, and now Houston lets Bessie go. He says, hey, I'm leading this thing. I know you're a few laps down, so we'll let you go, and this way you won't be banging over here in the turn. We got trouble up in turns 3 and 4 as a couple of cars loop around. Looks like Richard Lassiter, a High Point betting machine. Here's what happened.
Well, he gets bumped, it looks like, from the behind a little bit, Jerry. And was Robert Presley involved in there as well? He makes a 360 and continues to go. We'll look at it from another angle. See if we can tell exactly what happened. It looked like Presley might have bumped the 5 car, and Presley spins around 2. Tracy Leslie in car number 72 slows down, bumps Presley just a little bit. Then they all get going again, excepting Richard Lester. He comes down to the inside.
And Rodney Combs down the road. Likewise, Tim Feeder was in the pits. John Kernan has led 34 of 125 laps. There have been 7 cautions for 36 laps, 5 different leaders, 5 lead changes, and the average speed.
Oh, trouble down in turn 1 as a couple of cars get together. Chad Little and the car number 19 of Tom Peck.
Tom Peck's Delco Remy car has taken a heavy hit into the wall. Has been shortened considerably. That's an Oldsmobile. He runs a Chevrolet on the speedways. And he was being shown in 12th position. Peck was coming toward the front. Here's again what happened. Heavy traffic as they head for 1.
Well, you see Chuck Bound got on the inside of Peck going into the turn, and then it was another situation. He was coming down into take the low groove. Chad Little had positioned himself there. Was it Little? Yeah, the car number 23, and so send him around. Ooh, Ward Burton got into the wall coming off of turn 2 and collected 1 car down on the inside.
That's Tracy Leslie that spun and tagged the inside. The car number 72, the Detroit Gasket car. The MGM Brakes Detroit Gasket, Ron Parker on machine. Leslie, the winner at Indianapolis Raceway Park on ESPN, picking up his first win just a few weeks ago. Has a tough night here at Bristol as he is collected in an incident there. And Carl Simmons waving the yellow flag for the 9th time tonight. Giving us those beautiful shots high atop Bristol International Raceway. Glad to have you with us, John Kernan, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, bringing you live Busch Series racing action, the first of 2 consecutive nights here from Thunder Valley. Lap 175. 75 laps remain.
And trouble already. Down in turn 1, the car number 74, Jack Sprague, spins around.
And yes, the caution flag will come out. They race to the line. And Joe Bessie just can't quite get one of his laps back as Todd Bodine wins that race back to the start-finish line.
Here you see Houston in the blue and white car going up on the outside, but up ahead of him, a couple of cars get together, and around goes the car number 74. I believe that was Chad Little maybe that touched him a little bit there and sent him around. And Houston, although he picked up a few positions, he got by it okay.
Different angle. Let's watch Steve Grissom, our point leader, dodge another bullet.
Well, of course, Grissom in the blue car. There he comes into the picture. He sees cars all over the racetrack slowing down, trying to dodge the car number 74. He decides to go low. That was a good move. Houston went high. That was a good move, too. Both of them got by.
Car number 97, Joe Bessie, is being shown in 16th position. He is actually 4 laps down.
He was 5 laps down. He got one of those back, but hasn't been able to get another one back. Here's the battle back in the pack as Andy 31 hits the car number 74, and Jack Sprague gets into the wall again. Boy, he has had a tough night. I'm afraid this is going to be over with for him tonight, though. There's a lot of damage done to that. We'll take a look again. As they come off of the turn, Grissom had moved down on the inside, and I'm not sure that Jack saw him down there, Jerry, and he just came down enough where they got together and it knocked Sprague up into the wall. Here's another angle. You can see the blue car of Grissom down on the inside. Gets about halfway up there, and then his right front touches the left side of the car number 74, and just enough to break him loose and slam him into the wall.
And I certainly believe Steve Grissom would not try to have any contact. He wants to protect that point lead as best he can, and that's what's left of the Staff America Chevrolet and Jack Sprague. Now, we mentioned that our Grand Marshal tonight was a very special guest, country music recording artist Sammy Kershaw, and I believe Sammy is caught up down there with John Kernan. Beadle can lose 4 spots in less than a lap.
When you get on that high side, there's just not anything you can do because the fast groove is definitely on the inside.
Trouble in the back straightaway as 2 cars come together. The car number 1 of Rodney Combs, that's the Jet Pro Flocksport. He has come into heavy contact. The front of that car raced back to the caution flag. The car number 34, Todd Bodine and Joe Nemechek. Curtis Payne, the owner of that car, Roy's dad. Roy, a former ARCA Rookie of the Year. Here again's what happened coming off turn 2.
Okay, there's Payne getting down on the inside of Rodney Combs, and his front end hits the left rear quarter panel of Combs, and both of them spin down to the inside. Out of the way of the other traffic coming on, both of them hit the inside retaining wall. Doesn't look like Payne hit it too hard, though. and Rodney Combs bounced off of it, so he's still running.
Different angle from our turn 3 camera. Both of them look like Payne tagged the wall with the rear end. Combs getting the worst end of the deal there. He hit it with both the front and the rear. And there's the Jetco Block Sport Thunderbird, Rodney Combs, as he jams the brakes on. Back is Todd Bodine. Boy, what a night he's had in the Fiddle Faddle Chevrolet.
He just kept himself clean in the first half of the race. Gary ran strong, but then took advantage of a quick pit stop. And here's a quick crash. Tim Fedewa, car number 55.
The leader's coming up on Fedewa. Just by there, you saw Todd Bodine flash by as Fedewa's car looped around. He was able to get the car down off the racetrack as the caution comes out. And, of course, he lost a lap by virtue of the leaders going by, but the caution comes out for the 14th time tonight, the race scan Ford Thunderbird.
Well, we see the tail end. He's already spinning around up the tail end of the crash, and he spins around. Back end hits the wall. He comes down on the inside of the racetrack, and there's the 24 car going by. And the leaders will come by there shortly after that as Tim Fedewa comes into the pits.
And Tim Fedewa was being shown on the lead lap. He's now being shown a lap down in 9th position. That's prior to his pit stop. Record for the most caution flags, that was 15. We are currently at number 14. So don't go away, folks. That's Bobby Goddard in the car number 08. That yellow and white little car. Here's Houston in the car number 6 coming.
Boy, Harry Gant's car just stopped coming off of turn 4. It lost power or something, and a lot of cars did a lot of scrambling. And you can see the sparks coming from his car. No wonder he slowed down. Something bad wrong underneath that car. Something is broken on the steering, Jerry. It looks like you can see. Now, we talked about toe in a little bit ago. That's toe out that we're seeing now. That left front wheel is pointed out as Gant tries to get it back to the pit.
Obviously a wheel or some suspension part broken, and that car tire is jammed under the car. Gant trying to get the car off the racetrack, so the caution will have to come out again. We can get green flag racing, get this race in. Gant bringing that French's mustard Chevrolet. That's the Ed Whitaker-owned car down pit road. There's the battle up front. Todd Bodine in the car number 34. Joe Nemechek in 2nd position.